G'day everyone, this is my second build of a punch amp. I've called it the Chime Amp, and there's a few differences with this. It could end up being a PCB on my web store. If I'm going to end up going down that path, I'll leave a link now on the video that you can go to if you want to buy a PCB. As you can see, the PCB is very small. This is a 1590A, just in case you're not sure of the scaling, and that PCB is quite small. And I'll give you some details on how I built mine and what it actually does. In case you don't know what a punch amp is, what it actually does, you put your guitar signal in one side, in. I've actually done this backwards. In should be on that side. I drilled the volume in the wrong spot. Should be up here, and yeah, it's all back to front. But basically, in, you put your guitar input in, and then you can either connect a speaker or headphones to the output, and it runs on 9 volts, and it's quite loud. If you haven't seen the demonstration of the punch amp, I suppose I should leave a link to that too, so you can go and check it out. It's such a good circuit that I actually decided to go to the trouble of doing the PCBs and doing another build. It's just such a great, handy thing for any guitarist or pedal builder to have lying around. Particularly when you've got kids around too. Having a headphone amp is pretty handy, and it's amazingly loud off 9 volts. It's great. So I've hand drawn on this one with my best primary school drawing abilities. If you want to have a look at some good pedal artwork, check out John's website. His YouTube channel. He's got all sorts of interesting pedal demos on there, and he's a much better artist than I'll ever be. And yeah, so we'll have a look inside and see what it does. Basically, on the front here, I've added an on-off switch. I found not having an on-off switch on the gold. The gold version that I did of this one was quite annoying, so having that on there is pretty handy. And up the top here, you've got speaker, and that's actually supposed to be headphones. In case you're having trouble identifying what the hell that is. And there's actually a bit of a problem with this layout, and I'll explain it when we look on the inside. And then you've just got the volume control, obviously, on the front as well. So as you can see, it's actually pretty spacious on the inside. You don't have a 3-pole double throw like you'd usually do with the 1590A. I don't know if you'd be able to fit a battery in there. I'd be interested to see if someone could actually fit a battery in there with that PCB and 2 jacks. It could be possible, but I mean, a 9-volt battery, I'll just grab one. Like, if you put it in perspective of the size of the battery, it takes up most of the enclosure. I'm pretty sure it won't fit that way. I don't think that would fit into a 1590A. Let's just have a look. I'll grab an empty 1590A. So here's a powder coated job that I did on a 1590A, that Granny Smith color again. It's one of the reasons why I keep going back to powder coating. The colors are just phenomenal. Anyway, so will it fit upways? I mean, if you put it in there, it's pretty much just going to use up a fair bit of space anyway. You probably want to put it on the side there, maybe, and have the DC here, and see, there's not much room. You're going to have your jacks together sideways like that, and then you're going to have your power down here, or the board. Maybe you could put the board down there. It'd be tight, but it'd be pretty cool if you could get it all in the one tiny little enclosure. It'd be the ultimate little headphone amp, I reckon. But oh yeah, does the lid fit? That's the real question. Well, the lid will fit when it's like that. So you can do it standing up, or you can do it lying down. Whatever works. I think you'd actually want to have it standing up, because you don't actually save. So you're not going to be able to put anything across the top of it, because there's just not enough room. So you'd probably want to stand it up, put it off to the side like that. But anyways, just some food for thought. If you're going to build a punch amp or build one of my Chime amps in a 1590A, if you're planning it, it might help. So if we have a look at the actual at my build, I've actually got one of those J201s down here. So I'll zoom in so you can see a bit closer. That's actually a J201 SMD J201 that I showed in the other video. I've actually used one in this build. Yeah, that's a low profile cap, which was probably not necessary, I don't think, but when I'm doing 1590As, I just, in fact, almost everything, I'm just using them now. You don't have to worry about the height of them that way. I'm actually using some of these cheap ass little 1590A jacks. I'll talk more about that in the 1590A build tips, but they're good for 1590As, and they're particularly good for this punch amp, because the output of the speaker output has to be isolated from the enclosure. So if you use a metal threaded output jack, it's actually going to be touching ground. It's not going to be isolated. It's going to be touching ground. So you're going to end up with issues. You probably end up shorting out the chip, or it just won't work. So yeah, the plastic thread actually works quite well in this respect. And you could just actually use a metal threaded on the guitar input, a metal threaded jack, like a normal open style jack or whatever you want, on the input. Because see, I've used another plastic one on the input, and I have to connect the input to ground. I've actually put a little piece of wire that goes down, strip the end, and then tape down the wires so that the wires are touching the outside of the enclosure. Not a very elegant solution. You'd just be better off using a open style metal input jack. I don't have any at the moment, believe it or not. I've actually run out of the normal open style metal jacks, so I just used 2 of the plastic ones and did that instead, just to get around the problem. And this switch wiring isn't a very elegant solution, because I can actually short out the output. If I've got this on speaker setting, if I've got it on headphone setting and I plug a speaker in, the output will be shorted. It just happens to be the way that it's wired up that happens, because your headphones are stereo as well, so that's why that jack's there. So it sort of it shorts. I think it shorts ring and tip together when it's on headphones, but your speaker cable is mono. So when you plug that in, you're actually going to short plus and minus together, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain, but when you get to the point of actually wiring that up, you probably see what I'm talking about. So you're either going to have to use 2 separate jacks or do this switch thing. I think you'd have less likelihood of messing up with 2 jacks, because you actually have to sort of make a conscious decision to put it into the speaker jack. Like when you've got the cable in your hand, what have I got? I've got a headphone cable. Okay, I'll put in the headphone jack. As opposed to this, where you could just leave it on headphone, pull it out, and then plug in the speaker, and obviously that's not going to be very good. So I think that the 2 jacks would probably be a better idea, but they're obviously going to take up less room if you do the switch. So that's it for the video. I'm probably going to order some more of these PCBs and put them on my web store, just with a BOM, a bill of materials, so that you can go through and build one yourself. They're quite small, and there's not a huge amount of components on here. I've got a pull down resistor on for the status LED as well, and you can connect your status LED to the board. You might even be able to, if you're good enough, you might even be able to connect the status LED straight to the board and just have it out the back, like directly soldered to the board. But you're gonna have to judge your lead length pretty closely. I ended up just wussing out and doing wires instead. And the volume pot's pot mounted. The volume pot is PCB mounted as well. This transistor, I might actually change this, but so far on the first revision, I've made the transistor spacing pretty much so that you can just pop the transistor straight in without bending the legs. So you're not going to be able to socket that one. I may change that in the future, but at the moment, yeah, it's just you just push it straight in and solder it straight to it. So it's not socket friendly, I guess you could say. And then you just got the power switch up the top, and you just basically just break the 9 volts at the top with a single pole double throw switch, which is the on-off switch. So yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you haven't built a Chime Amp, a punch amp, then I recommend you do it on Vero. Buy a board. Do whatever you have to do to get one, because they're really good, and they're handy to have around. So I just finished building this this little sucker just before, so I'm gonna go and use it now, because I'm busting to put my headphones on and play a little bit of guitar with that prismatic reverb Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more do-it-yourself guitar pedal related videos, tutorials and demos. Thanks for watching.